The essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.
Black power! Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Black power!
Are you feeling fatigued and can barely make it through the day without some type of caffeine?
Are you on a journey of healing your body but need a little help?
Then alkaline water is what you really need.
Alkaline water has many benefits. Alkaline water can help restore pH balance in the body. Consuming beverages such as soda and coffee can make your body acidic.
Did you know that too much acid in your body has been linked to an internet, heart disease, obesity, diabetes, autoimmune disease, chronic pain, and other chronic conditions like gout and arthritis?
Those who use alkaline water have reported increased energy levels, clearer skin, reduction in inflammation, better digestion, and many other health benefits. I've used alkaline water for years, and it's been instrumental in sustaining my health when I was diagnosed with sarcoidosis.
Are you ready to take responsibility for your body's health?
If the answer is yes, then our alkaline water is just what you need. Bring your own bottles. It's only $3 for each gallon. To place an order or for more information, you can reach us at 773-846-3091. Thank you in advance for your support.
Hi, my name is Sister Ebony Stevenson. I am your announcer for today. Welcome to the Toma Nation's weekly Sunday worship service from 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. every Sunday at 616 East 71st Street here in Chicago, Illinois, and also live on Facebook. If you would like more information, you can reach us at www.facebook.com/TomaNation2 or give us a call at 773-952-8302. Now I am going to recite our opening. In the name of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, and the one who made time the seed of the universe, known among the ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amin-Ra and Aton, among the Hebrews as Ansal, Yahweh, and Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, and Jehovah, among the Muslims and Islamic world as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafarians as Jah Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribes of West Africa as Odumare, Eshu, and many other Orisha names. I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty Spirit, and it is to that essence which I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, the descendants of those black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are the Lost 13 tribe, born in North America, and are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the earth flows through our veins. I greet you in the ancient but holy words of peace, Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu Alaikum, Habaragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Now I am going to recite the 13 points of what we believe and know. Number 1. We believe and know that we are not to repeat the mistakes of the past prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator of the heavens and earth. Number 2. We believe and know that we can only establish an economic base through the application of the knowledge of self and the incorporation of the ideologies of the Honorable Marcus Garvey, the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, Mahatma Gandhi, and Ben Ami. Number 3. We believe and know that the prophets and messengers of the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, and the Kemetic Holy Books were all black. Number 4. We believe and know that Jesus Christ of 2,000 years was and is a black man. Number 5. We believe and know that the knowledge of the Almighty Creator goes beyond books written by the prophets and messengers of the Almighty Creator. Number 6. We believe and know that in order to promote and coordinate unity, we must first recognize and accept the uniqueness of being able to worship our Creator, regardless of religious denomination, name, title, ritual, particular dress, or holy book, as long as it recognizes the Almighty Creator of the heavens, earth, and the universe as supreme. Number 7. We believe and know that it is impossible to tell the truth without exposing the wicked governments of the world. Number 8. We believe and know that the United States government, in collaboration with other European nations, have a denial objective to exterminate dark-skinned people of color off the earth through the act of genocide. Number 9. We believe and know that some of the most effective methods that are being used today are AIDS, birth control, alcohol and drug abuse, vaccinations, gang and domestic violence, systematic elimination of trauma centers, the public school system, and public aid within the Black communities of America and the world. Number 10. We believe and know that the last trick that Satan is playing on us is the dividing of us by our religious differences, religious gangbanging. Number 11. We believe and know that the conflict between the various religions are comparable to the conflict between various street gangs within the inner cities of America. Number 12. We believe and know that the war on drugs and gangs is a diabolical plot to disarm the Black community of weapons, break up the Black family, withdraw our constitutional rights, also kill and incarcerate young Black males under the undercover code name April 2029. And number 13, we believe and know that every letter, shape, sound, and numerical value contains esoteric information that completely transcends the specific contextual meaning of the word. Our purpose: to bring about the growth of a righteous community in accordance with the laws of the Creator of the universe, under the leadership and guidance of Brother Minister Rahim Chesed Aton, to provide solutions to the social and economic ills that plague the communities of urban America. Our goal: to re-educate and retrain youth and young adults to develop positive moral values as an alternative to delinquent behaviors, because you can't rebuild a community and not rebuild the minds of the residents of the community to meet the responsibilities of maintaining the community's image. Our mission: to enhance the economic development of our communities by establishing businesses, real and personal properties, thereby creating jobs and/or entrepreneurship training programs that will reverse the concept of leaving the community to buying back the community. Our motto: let your light so shine before men that they shall see your good works and glorify your Father which is in heaven. Matthew 5:16. Now we're going to recite our salute to the red, black, and green flag. Everyone put your right fist in the air and repeat after me. Here's to this flag of mine, the red, black, and green. Hopes in its future bright, Africa has seen. Here's to the red of it, great nations shall know of it. In time to come, red blood shall flow of it, historians shall write of it. this flag of mine. Here's to the black of it, 400 million's back of it, whose destiny depends on it. The red, black, and green of it, oh flag of mine. Here's to the green of it. Young men and women shall dream of it, face shots and shells for it. Maidens shall sing of it, waving so high. Here's to the whole of it, colors bright and pole of it. Pleased is my soul with it, regardless of what is told of it. Thanks to God for giving it, this great flag of mine. Please keep your right fist raised high in the air as we sing our Black National Anthem. Black power, black power, black power. Black power is the power to define, develop, and defend that which is in the best interest of Black people.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the Temple of Mercy Association headquarters located at 616 East on 71st Street right here in Chicago, Illinois. I am your announcer for today. I'd just like to begin by reciting our opening. In the name of the everlasting Father, he that causes all that exists to exist, he that is self-existent, he who directs the sonships of millions and trillions of years, and he who's made time the seed of the universe. Known among the ancient Kemites or the indigenous people of Africa as Amen-Ra and Aton. Among the Hebrews is Ansof, Yahweh, and Elohim. Among the Christians is Lord God and Jehovah. And among the Muslim and the Islamic world is Allah, the one God. But I bear witness that all of these names refer to the same one, Almighty God, and it is to him whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. We, Toma Nation, greet our brothers and sisters in the ancient but yet holy words of peace, which are Hotep, Shalom,
Shalom Alaikum.
Assalamu Alaikum,
Alaikum salam, sir.
Abargani,
Abargani.
and the Lafayette. All the greetings and salutations in the various languages and religions that we happen to find Black people in America involved in. And if you come from the humble south side of Chicago on 079th Street, I'll just say, what's up, Joe? Y'all got to be from Chicago to catch that. But today, we're going to talk about the death that's taking place in our community and how it is a commodity to the United States of America. I want y'all to think back with me, right? And as we talk about what's going on in our community, I want us to pay close attention to the title that they're giving things, right? So now when you hear something about 2 or 3 or more people getting shot, they're saying it's a mass shooting, right? They're calling it urban terrorism, right? When for years it's been just known as murder. Somebody got killed, somebody lost their life to gun violence, somebody lost their life to gang violence, whatever it is. But now the terms that they're using for these things are becoming more sophisticated, and they're calling it urban terrorism now. Why is that? So now everything that we deal with as a people in response to or in prevention of death in our community, we're being labeled again as extremists. Why are we labeled extremists? Is not the amount of killing that's going on in our community, wouldn't that want somebody to be an extreme version of trying to solve that problem? Wouldn't we want to come together and say and declare a state of emergency because 63 homicides happened last week in Chicago? You tell me of any other community that's non-black where 63 homicides can happen in a week and a state of emergency won't be declared. A sense of urgency won't be taken. And a bunch of extreme people won't come together to deal with what's going on in their community. So, urban terrorism, they're calling us black identity extremists. Almost every fight that we have against this government, don't matter if you black or non-black, they're labeling us extremists, right? So you got people that are fighting abortion. They call them extremists. You got people that are fighting environmental rights. They're calling them extremists. You got people that are fighting the government and storming the White House, and they're calling them extremists. Pay attention to those terminologies. And so what happens in our community, unfortunately, is that every time a black person dies at the hands of the police, you got these different groups and organizations, mostly white, sprinkled with a few black people who want to come out and protest. I'm sick of black lives being taken for no reason. I am a white woman and I am appalled by what's going on in my country. And they come out in groves. And they down in Memphis and they shutting down the expressway and they shutting down bridges and they protesting. The same way they did with Black Lives Matter. Black Lives Matter was a swarm through our communities, off the backs of Eric Garner, off the backs of George Floyd. And they went all throughout the country protesting and shutting stuff down. And at the end of the protest, they told black children that when you go downtown, don't tear up in your own community where you live. Go downtown to their stores. Go downtown to Macy's. Go downtown to Amazon. Go to all of the different white-owned businesses and tear their businesses up because that's a form of reparations, is what the black lady over the Black Lives Matter told our children. So all over the country, we looted, we rioted, we burnt up stuff, we tore up stuff. And in the end, those same corporations that they were tearing up said, hey, black lives do matter. Where do I send the check? And so $90 billion got sent to the Black Lives Matter movement. I want some Negro handkerchief head black person to come debate me and tell me where we benefited from those $90 billion that were given. And over $100 billion pledged by corporate America because they wanted to stop the attack of their businesses. So we think. Black death is America's economy. How much is black death worth? Anytime the police kill us, you hear all of these black so-called activists, they come out and they raging and they raising hell and they inciting the community and bringing us all together, and they want to go shut down something and go stand in front of 35th of Michigan and do a protest and call the city out and say we ought to go downtown and stop their money because if we stop their money, they'll stop killing us, right? And all of these organizations are really ambulance chasers because everybody's trying to get to the mother of that child that just got killed and say, hey, I got an attorney so-and-so. I'm going to name names next time. I got an attorney so-and-so that can represent your family, right? And so here comes the high-profile Black Lives Matter, black activist attorney, and they come out and they can make your case a national case. So the first thing we're going to do is set up a GoFundMe, man, because we know you don't have the money to pay us, but we're going to make this a national case of emergency. And so the GoFundMe goes out, and then next thing you know, it's 1.6, 1.7, $8 million in the GoFundMe. But what is the GoFundMe for? It ain't just for the funeral costs, it ain't just for the children that's left, it's for the lawyer fees. And then they turn around and they pay the activists to go out and make it a high-profile case to make the city settle on the lawsuit faster. to make the city give up the body cam a little bit faster so that they can expedite the case so that they can sue the city and the taxpayers get stuck with the $3 or the $4 or the $5 million settlement that's now got to be paid to this family. Meanwhile, Johnny Law, that did the killing, he got his cover from the Fraternal Order of Police. They're going to set up a similar GoFundMe for him at their national credit union and give everybody a deposit slip and say, hey, we know that our boy, I can't even remember his name, they killed Laquan McDonald. We know he murdered this black child, but we got to look out for each other. So here's the deposit slip. What can you give to this man's family? And so he go to jail with $2.1 million sitting in a GoFundMe and a credit union account. All of this off the back of a black death. And so he go to jail. He get about 5 years. He get to come home a millionaire. What does that say to the rest of the racist white cops that's patrolling our community? You mean to tell me I could just kill one of these little ninjas and they're going to only give me, I might only get 5 years or not. I'm going to get a $2 million or $1 million GoFundMe and retirement account, and I ain't got to be out here dealing with these ninjas no more? Man, where the nearest one at? What are we saying? Because they got protection. They got the Fraternal Order of Police. They got the National Rifle Association. And then you look behind the scenes of all of these major attorneys that are funding and fighting for our causes. If you go behind the scenes, go look at how much money Goldman, Wise, and Cairo, which is the #1 law practice in Chicago for misconduct. They solve and get the most money for people who have suffered in misconduct of the city. But when you go pull the cover off of their books, you'll notice that they give the Fraternal Order of Police $40 million a year in donations. Now, I ain't the smartest guy in the world. I don't have the college degrees. I come from 79th Street. I'm not that smart. But if you can give the Fraternal Order of Police $40 million, that means you have some influence to sway the case one way or the other. Not only that, but you got the power because you're the Fraternal Order of Police. If it's a Chicago police officer, oh yeah, we're going to take him off the duty, we're going to put him on desk duty, we're going to put that out in the media. Now we feel like we received justice. And then further on down the line, now he's still law enforcement in another municipality, another county. Because we're talking about the Fraternal Order of Police. It ain't just city. So all of you so-called activists and black nationalists that want to keep fighting the Chicago police is bigger than them. You got to go hit this devil in the head. If we don't mount up like David and fight Goliath, we got to hit him in the head. The head is the Fraternal Order of Police, the National Rifle Association. That's who's controlling what's going on in our communities, not Chicago police. You got black activists coming out now saying, we want police accountability. And so now they got all of these black people in all of the different wars running for a position so we can decide who's going to kill us next. Because you ain't going to stop it. You don't have authority to arrest, lock up, and convict people for doing the wrong. So what you want to sit at the table for? Because you want some grant money. Because we want to be paid. We want to be compensated for our death. Black death is America's economy. And I don't care what side of the coin you look on, you're going to find somebody getting some of these dollars. Mike Brown got killed in 2014. That was right when the first act that they put out, it's called the Terrorism Insurance Act of 2002. It needed to be renewed. So they needed to get it done again. So Mike Brown get killed in 2014. The man get off. Y'all know what happened. We tore the city up, right? I used to live in Missouri, similar, close to the vicinity of where this took place down there on Florissant Street. And we saw the videos. And it wasn't us destroying that car lot. It wasn't us that burned down the auto zone. We saw Caucasian people burning down businesses. But what you didn't know was that those businesses had purchased an urban terrorism insurance policy. Well, what's that, Brother Minister? Well, I'm glad you asked. It's under the Terrorism Insurance Act of 2002 is federally funded money provided for transparent system of public sharing and private compensation for certain insured losses resulting from certified acts of terrorism. Remember in the beginning I told us to pay close attention to what they're calling the violence in our community now? They're calling it terrorism. So there's 4 certified acts of terrorism. The FBI classifies domestic terrorism threats in 4 main categories: racially motivated violence extremists, anti-government, anti-authority extremists, animal rights and environmental extremists, and abortion extremists, right? So any of these type of businesses that somebody come against, they already got insurance in place. So when we tear the business up, they can turn around and rebuild the business. It don't just pay for loss of compensation, but it also pays for that business to be relocated someplace else. So who's really behind destroying all of these businesses? Because according to the Department of Insurance in Missouri, Ferguson got $2.9 billion in federal funds for those businesses. But yet, if you go back down Florissant where those businesses were, they aren't there anymore. So where did the money go? How did it benefit the community? The business didn't come back. That means the jobs that were lost as a result of the business didn't come back. We didn't get any more tax base to the community that was already in trouble. So what happened? They relocated someplace else. Let me bring that up to date. They declared most of our communities a food desert, right? And so under President Obama, his wife, Michelle, had addressed the food desert by getting federal funds to put into these communities that they consider, quote unquote, a food desert. So you get a Whole Foods, can come on 63rd and Halston. It's a $5 million project. According to the tax increment financing that they received, they only needed to put 10% down. Y'all do the math with me. That's $500,000. Our tax dollars give them another $4.5 million. They put the store in our community. But we're not the market for Whole Foods. Our community can't afford Whole Food prices. You go in there, a gallon of milk is $7, $8, $9. Why would y'all build a $5 million Whole Foods in the heart of Inglewood, knowing that we're not the target market for the type of food that they sell? Knowing that they were too high to be in our community. Why? Because it was free tax dollars. Right? And according to the TIF, and anytime you receive TIF money, you got to stay in your lease, what? How many years? 5 years. Is it a coincidence that on the 6th year, Whole Foods decided that, hey, we can't make any money. This store is not doing it. It's not doing well for us. And guess what they left on? An urban terrorism insurance policy. Because now Black Death is an act of terrorism. So the 63 homicides allow businesses to now collect on this insurance policy and not only pay for the loss and damage of a community, but the relocation of a business. So why not bring a Whole Foods on 63rd and Halston? Mind you, Whole Foods is a co-op that was put together by Amazon. So the people that own the Whole Foods don't even live in our community. If you're going to build something in our community, at least make it community owned so we have a vested interest in shopping at the store. We can get something more than just old food and hot overpriced food. We can have some ownership in it. But no, Whole Foods is a community owned co-op. Amazon put together with 100,000 people putting $10,000 up, and they started Whole Foods to go into the grocery store distribution. And then they bought all of the wholesale houses in the community along with Mariano's, Pete's, and the Arabs. And so now there's no more wholesale grocery stores in our community. Dearborn is owned by the Arabs. They see what's coming on the front. The Hispanics is 61% of the community now, and they're not going to buy from them. So we got to do something to be able to stay here so we can continue to get commerce from this community. So all of this debt going on, all of these dollars in federal funding coming into our community, but none of it is changing anything. We still got 17,000 homeless teenagers in our community. The unemployment for 18 to 25 Black male is still at 92%. Don't bring us no more businesses that's going to give us 100 jobs and there's 17,000 people still living on the street. But yet under the New America Plan, the city of Chicago is prepared to take the 50 schools that they close in our community and house immigrants from from someplace else when you got kids that live in the community their whole life that ain't got no place to stay. Make it make sense. But y'all all running around on the campaign trail talking about vote for me for what? Y'all closed 51 schools, Vallis, Arnie Duncan. I was at the meeting when we cornered you behind Inglewood and said, don't do that. You're going to increase the violence in our community. You can't close Inglewood and send gangster disciples to Stony Island at the school in Hyde Park because it's all Blackstones over there and they're going to fight. The crime going to go up. And they did it anyway. And they created all the wars that started in our community, the Chief Keef, the JoJo, the FB Duck, and everything else that took place in the city happened because they closed them 51 schools. You displaced all of those youth, all of those families, sent them across gang lines to go to school, knowing that they wasn't going to go. So what else did they have? But the streets. And now the violence is steady going on, and all you're doing is releasing more and more federal funding to fake dummy bag organizations in our community that's acting like they're doing something, but behind the scenes, they're really part of the problem. Don't tell me no more about no Muslim organizations in our community, if it ain't the Nation of Islam, because we know what they're doing behind the scenes. Some of y'all fake activists out here walking up and down the street knowing that y'all in cahoots with what's going on. Right. Hey, man. If you sell one of our packs, hey, you know, we got that hookup with the old, you know, with the good old boy over there. If you get busted or caught, he can come to court for you. He can get you off. All you got to do is say you're part of the program. And that case will go away. Complete the conditional probation. Being one of these watch patrol in the community with us, we get paid $20 an hour. And if you sell one of our packs, you won't go to jail. Sell one of our packs. And so this madness is still going on. While at the same time, you got organizations that's buying up our community. That's telling our grandmothers it's better to be in a senior citizen home than to own a house. Where's the legacy? Where's the generational wealth? She can't pass down that apartment to her family. Where's the help for the children? If the children are the future. But violence is big business. Crime is big business. Not only is it a tool for gentrification and bringing down the property value in our community so somebody can come in and take over, but you got these violence prevention pimps out here. Talking about, I got the keys to the street. I got the shorties on lock. I can make sure everything stops. You know how many deaths I stopped? Well, you ain't stopped the 63 that happened last week. So what you talking about? The conditions haven't changed. We didn't get any better. The numbers didn't decrease. We still running 1,000 homicides a year. Where's the prevention at? Oh, it would have been 2,000 if you would have been out there. Man, listen, that's a failing grade to me. In school, you get graded on metrics. And I say the metrics in our community, one life is too many. Let alone 63. So don't keep putting these reports out in the news talking about crime is down in this area. But yet, the overdose death is higher than a homicide. Y'all ain't even talking about that. Talking about being disingenuous. It's 3 times more people overdosing off of fentanyl on the west side than it is homicide. But you ain't talking about those deaths. You're not talking about the alcohol-related deaths that's taking place, nor are you making a correlation between the alcohol and the death and the drugs and gangs. Because 89% of all homicides is created and committed under the act of what? Alcohol. But yet y'all letting them still come in our community, all the men. Don't we have enough alcoholism in our community right now that y'all still issuing liquor licenses? People are building 2- and 3-story liquor stores in our community, right next door to daycares. Where y'all say that we're not supposed to have a liquor store within a 500 feet radius of a church, school, or park. Well, I got news for you. That's impossible in the black community. Because we got a church, a school, and a park everywhere. So we shouldn't have no liquor stores. Because it's impossible to go in our community and walk 500 feet and don't find another church. Y'all go look through the community and see. But I just wanted to warm y'all up and get y'all ready, you know, for our main speaker today, because I know he's going to give us a weighty word. And that's why we call this a worship service, because we're under attack. but nobody's fighting back. Everybody's just fighting for a position to benefit off of the crime and the death rather than the solution. So let's come together, black people. Let's come together, all ye Asiatics. Let's come together, Moors. Let's come together, Masons. Let's come together, Omegas, Qs, Kappas, Sigmas, Alphas. Y'all just all celebrated 100-year anniversaries. Can we get y'all to come out in the community and mentor some of these children? Can we get some fathers to come out and be fathers to the fatherless? Can we get some of the OES sisters to come out and be mothers to the motherless? Because that's all our children are missing is guidance and direction. Where's the guidance? Where's the direction? These are babies. They came out of our house.
That's right.
Y'all ain't scared, is you? I know that's what we hear in the community. Oh man, you can't go out there. You don't know what's on these people's mind, man. They've been shot and killed you. Well, that's what life insurance is for. Make it harder. You want to stop black death? Put life insurance on everybody.
Good question.
Make it a Wall Street problem. Make those 63 homicides, $63 million in life insurance death benefits, and see don't they figure out real quick how not to send that money to the community. Because now that money got to come to us. In our hands, tax-free. So if we want to stop this, we got to come together, y'all. And our men got to come on up out of these fraternities, out of these churches, out of these clubs. I mean, we'll hurt somebody coming against our flag. But we ain't going to do nothing to save these children in the community. We ain't got no extremity in us now. We ain't extreme no more. Mm-hmm. Wear the wrong color. Represent the wrong whatever. Let me stand up here and bark and throw that thing up and through one of them signs and see don't I have some problems when I come down. See don't the Facebook live in the comments be blowing up. Where's that brother from? We got to get him. He can't be throwing up our stuff. But 63 homicides, we don't say not a mumbling word. So come on, community. Let's get together. Let's make this a community for real. Let's love on each other enough, right? So that we can do what we need to do in our community. Stop letting black death be a commodity in our communities. Stop letting everybody else get paid off of the death that's going on in our community and we continue to suffer. Because we fighting for a seat at the table. Because you want a part in the decision-making process of a system that was never set up to serve you. It was never set up to protect people. Only commerce and industry. Not us. The first officer was overseer, officer. What were they protecting? Runaway slaves, commodities. On plantations, plantation. Oh man, are those the same thing?
Good question.
It just changed the terminology. We still 3/5 of a human being, according to their constitution. That didn't change. Y'all fighting for all these laws. We got 50,000 elected officials. Or President Obama, we still 3/5 on that constitution paper. Nobody thought to change that. So what y'all fighting for? 13th Amendment. Then y'all put the 13th Amendment in there that says that if you are a convicted felon, it's lawful to own you as a slave.
Right.
I want to say that again. If you are a convicted felon, it's lawful for them to own us again as slaves. And how easy is that for them to do? To pull you over and put something in your glove compartment and say, look what I found. And now you sitting up there with a case. Now you a convicted felon. They tell you you're going to do 25, but if you just plead guilty, we're going to give you 2 years of probation conditional, right? And you go, when your mama said, baby, take the probation. I don't want to lose my baby. And you take the probation, but you just don't realize you just took a felony on your life. You don't know jail time, but you still got your ex. So how does that limit you in the community? You got to start thinking about all these things. But at this time, I want to bring to the podium to continue this conversation and this powerful election, the founder of the Temple of Mercy Association, who started this organization in 1991, some 28-something years ago, for the sole purpose of helping young men like myself find a better way while they're trying to make a way. So if y'all don't mind, if y'all would mind standing to your feet and putting your hands together and welcome to the podium, the founder of this great movement, the Aton Nation, Minister Rahim, Chesed, Aton.
Original salute.
Black power.
Original salute.
Black power.
Original salute.
Black power.
As you were, you may be seated.
Black power is the power to define, the power to develop, the power to defend. That which is power to define, power to defend, that which is in the best interest of Black people. Excuse me. In the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent, the one who directs the sunships of millions and trillions of years, the one who made time, the seat of the universe. It's known among ancient Kemites or Egyptians as Amun-Ra and Aton, among the Hebrews as Ansel, Yahweh, Elohim, among the Christians as Lord, God, Jehovah, among the Muslims as Allah, the one God, among the Rastafaris as Jah, Rastafari, among the Yoruba tribe as Olodumare, Obata, and many other Orisha gods. I bear witness that all of those names refer to the same one, Almighty God. And it is to him whom I give reverence and to whom I submit. I boldly proclaim that we, those children of those Black men and women who survived the transatlantic slave trade, are that lost 13th tribe, born here in North America, and that we are of a Nubian Kemetic lineage. I further proclaim that the blood of all the nations of the world flow through our veins. I greet you all in the ancient but yet holy words of peace in many of the languages of our fathers. Of Hotep, Shalom, Assalamu alaikum, Baragani, Alafia, and Ashe. Oh, many, many, many words that just culminate in saying peace. Peace be unto you. Welcome, welcome to the Temple of Mercy Association, aka the Aton Nation. I am Brother Minister Rahim Chesed Aton, founder of this great movement, along with Brother Minister Omari Jaheed Aton, who is the co-founder of this movement, and our First Lady, Sister Makita Aisha Aton. I hope you enjoyed what you just heard a few minutes ago. Would you give a round of applause to our minister Aton. I'm sure he brought to you a lot of statistics. He's that, what I call him, the statistical man. He gives you statistics, he gives you all of the ratios of what's going down and what's happening in our communities. And we being the type of movement that go to the root of problems. We don't deal with things on the surface. Everything on the surface looks good, smoothed over. But you know, if you had a plant in your house, you wouldn't turn it upside down and let the roots show, because the roots are ugly. And so we call ourselves a grassroots organization because we go to the root of the problem. We dig up what we call the ugly truth. And most of our brothers and sisters and others can't deal with that because we expose who's behind the scene. If you're talking about something on the surface and they telling you whatever it is they gotta say, usually when we go to the root, some of the people you least expect, name pops up. The people who you thought weren't in it are in it. The people who you thought were for you, but actually against you. We're using our struggle for monetary gain. And that's what we see. And a lot of us are afraid to talk this kind of talk. A lot of us see Minister Louis Farrakhan and he speaks it straight out. But he's promoting a religion called Islam, so that gives you an excuse to say, I don't want to be this Muslim. But see, over here at the Aton Nation, we're all inclusive. By being all inclusive, you don't have an excuse. You can come in and hear that truth from the root, and you don't have to be part of a religion, just want to know the truth. Because it said the truth shall set you free. And if you want that freedom, freedom of mind and heart, you're in the right place. Now, I want to talk just a little bit about what's in our media right now. And it's about this young man who got beat by 5 police officers. And everybody's telling their part, but again, as you know, we go to the root. We dig a little deep. And I want to start first by voicing what a artist, a vocalist, a actor spoke about at the NAACP Awards on February 18, 2013. His name is Harry Belafonte. I don't know if y'all have heard of him.
Yes. Yeah.
He's been around for a while. He's about 90-something years old today. But back then, he was one of the greatest actors and vocalists of our time. They was giving him an award. But he spoke to that audience of black and white people, artists, celebrities. And he said this. He said, the group that is most devastated by America's obsession with guns is African Americans. Although most comparisons can be dangerous, there are times when they must be noted. America has the largest prison population in the world. Now, mind you, he's talking to the celebrities. And over 2 million men, women, and children who make up the incarcerated. The overwhelmingly majority of them are black. Blacks are the most unemployed, the most caught in the unjust systems of justice. Now, I told you, when we talk about the justice system, we don't just say the criminal justice system. We say the just us criminal system. Y'all might want to write it down. The just us criminal system. Because the majority of the people that are locked up behind those cages look like me and you. And he says, in the gun game, we are the most haunted. The rivers of blood that wash the streets of our nation flow mostly from the bodies of our black children. Yet, as the great debate emerges on the questions of the gun, white America discusses the constitutional issues of ownership, while nobody speaks to the consequences of our racial carnage. And here's the last part. This is a lot now. I just want to read a couple little lines for where I'm going. He says, where's the outrage? Where's the voice of Black America? Where and why are we mute? Where are our leaders? Where are our legislators? Where is the church? Those are questions that were asked in 2013 by Harry Belafonte. This is 2023, and I ask the same questions. I'm not saying our aldermen and our mayors and our state reps and our congressmen, those are not our leaders. Maybe some of us want them to be, but those are not our leaders. Our leaders, in my opinion, are those who address our real issues and not constantly cover for the lack of what they do in our community. Let's look at our alderman for a minute. Ever since I've been here in Chicago, and that's all my life, y'all, the only thing the alderman has done for us was made sure the streets were paved, made sure we had lights in our alley, made sure that we could have some food in the summertime, not summertime, during the holidays and whatnot, get away from the food and whatnot. And then go back, listen to the mayor, and tell us what thus says their leader. Okay, is that all we want? Is that all we need? Is that all we're looking for? But that's all they give. Have they truly addressed what you heard Minister Yashua talking about? No. Why? Because they're a part of those who actually prosper off of our demise. Let's tell it like it is. So if we don't get up, if the people don't get up and do what we need to do, then we're going to just go on down into what I call extinction. As a race, we will be extinct. The rest of us, well, probably go underground somewhere. But let's look at this thing dealing with the police killings. I thought I'd say that, read that first. Every 36 hours, a black child, woman or man, is killed by the police. Security guards are self-appointed vigilantes in these United States of America. These executions continue nationwide. And just like during the lynching era, there's no place for sanctuary. Many are killed while suffering from mental health problems or being intoxicated and thereby behaving in ways that the police allegedly could not control. That's what they say. There's a direct relationship between stop and frisk policies and procedures, racial profiling, and these deadly encounters. Now, what's different today than the other killings in the past? Well, it's 5 black police officers. All right? Well, even though they taught those black police officers that the only color is blue, I think they had a rude awakening this trip. Because the way that they were convicted and how fast they were convicted, we have right now victims of police brutality who still are dealing and waiting for justice today, after years of it being on the books. So how is it now that probably in less than 24 hours, these guys was convicted and not suspended, not put on desk duty, but fired? Right? Well, why is it that, now y'all probably gonna say, this is a conspiracy theory. But why did it have to be by a black woman firing 5 black men? That's going to make you say, like Arsenio Hall used to say, give you something to make you say, I never thought of that. 5 black men. Now, they got families and all. I'm going to say their names just so you can know who we're talking about. I can't say them probably correctly, but Tadarius Dean, that's one officer. Demetrius Hayden, Emmett Martin III, Desmond Mills Jr., and Justin Smith. 5 black men who some people say, y'all probably never heard this part, some people say that the reason that they were beating on this guy and that they had targeted him because he was going with the ex-wife of one of those officers. And so he was targeted. And so this wasn't just a regular beating, all right, that we were looking at. Now y'all have to go and look that up. But my question, and I don't know if you all can tell me, who was that? Whose body camera was that? Because it was more than 5 officers out there. From what I heard, it was about between 8 to 10 officers. Why are we only convicting 5? Why 5 black officers? Now we know that police brutality is something that we in our community have gotten used to. And there's hardly no black men that I know that have not been a victim of some sort of police harassment, including myself, 2 or 3 times in my life. But here we go now, we're looking at a situation where if you go back, I'm gonna show you something. I don't know if y'all can see it, but see how thick this is? All this information on both sides is from 2000, the year 2000, all the way up to the year 2009, all the way to 2023, of all unarmed African Americans killed by law enforcement officers in the United States. All this. So now, if you look at that, and you heard Brother Yashua talk about the officers and the other term overseer. What are they here for? To keep us in line. I had a police officer tell us that their job was to keep us cordoned in one area that we don't cross the line and go into the other communities. That's what he told me. He told me this. And so, if you look at it, to be a black police, I'm glad I didn't become one, because I sure signed up when I was 20 years old. Thank the Lord I didn't make it. Thank God I didn't make it. But we're looking at a situation where black lives are a commodity. I also heard, now watch this, I talked to a coroner years ago, but I'm speaking of this from the 90s. Because in the 90s, it looks just like the 2000s. There's no difference to me. I was talking to a guy, and he works downtown, not downtown, but at the coroner's office. And he said that 9 out of 10 bodies that were on that slab that were shot, had they made it to the nearest hospital, would have lived. Would have lived. Now let's look how they have things cordoned off in our community. You're on the south side, you get shot, you wind up going to Strojan. If you're way on the east side, instead of going to Jackson Park, you go to Christ Memorial, way across town. So if you look at the situation, it's set up for us to be killed or for us to die. And why are we a commodity? Well, our organs cost. Our fingers, our toes, our kidneys, our lungs, our heart, everything about us is still a commodity. Years ago, and they called it slavery. Years ago, we were right there on the stock market with cotton and tobacco. Today, it's about the same. Huh? Oh, and melanin, more than gold. How many grams for? Is $400 a gram? More than gold. How do you get melanin? Can you be alive and extract it? They extract it from the pineal gland. You have to be dead in order for them to extract it. And I forgot when it came out, but you can look on your phone. But there was a melanin craze that during the time of this fight in Rwanda, I don't know if you all know about that, but over in Rwanda, they had 2 groups fighting each other, the Hutus and the Tutsis. They were warring against one another. And little did you know that former President Jimmy Carter was a part of this. He was sent over to Rwanda to be an intermediary between the 2 warring factions. Mind you, that in college, well, I don't know if he learned it in college, but he actually is a nuclear physicist. I don't know if you all knew that. What he did was told the leaders of both groups that if you get on this plane and work out you all problems, because there's no neutral zone on the ground, but get on the plane and you all work it out. What happened to the plane? Blew up. Blew up in the air. Now the war goes on. They fighting and killing one another. All of those bodies, you thought they were sending doctors and all into that area, but they were sending scientists. Whether you know it or not, the lab coat of the scientist is the same coat that looks like the one that the doctor wears when he comes and works on. So what's the difference between the scientist and the doctor? So all of those bodies, most of those bodies, they went down there to get the pineal glands and extract the melanin from them. And then there was what you call a melatonin craze. Books came out, all kind of pills and capsules on melatonin, and people got rich off of it. So look at us. That's the name of my lecture, about Black death being a commodity. So yeah, we are important. But we're more important dead than we are alive. Just understand that. So if we don't do it, I'm up here wearing this outfit, this uniform is called, well, not the uniform, but our movement is called the Original Men in Black. What we're telling our brothers and sisters is that we got to hit the streets. We got to talk to our people, but we cannot, and this is what I was talking to Anna about. Anna is the young lady right there that's with the state council. They're going to be forming what they call the third local police district council. And I was telling her that a lot of people keep coming to us, asking us to work with the police. We can't. We refuse. How can we help our people working with them, seeing us working with them? We out here talking to our people, they pull up, hey, we supposed to come to the car, hey, how y'all doing? Shake their hand and whatnot. Okay, we just lost all trust in our community. We had an event with them at the police station, somebody there with a camera, hey. The camera, well, the picture is worth 1,000 words, right? As soon as the community get hold of that, or if they can use it in the future to show me shaking hands with the commander, we lose all our credibility on the streets. So we don't work with the police. Do I know police officers? Yes, I do. They're not my friends, I have to be honest, but I do know them. See? So we, Tone, OMIB, we call ourselves a hospitality patrol. In other words, we walk out in the community, we stop, we don't pass you by, we talk to you, we find out what the challenges in the community. We even have a survey sheet that you can sign so we can know what your challenges are. Then we call you in for a meeting with the community so we can share with them those things that we have and not those tools that we have that can help them, that can help us. And we've been doing this since 1991. And so what I'm saying is we have to get to the space or the place before the police, not during that time. We don't stand up there. You'll never see us on the news, so to speak, during an interview. But when the cameras go, that's when we show up. We show up on the block, we pray with the family, we pray for the family, we even go to the funeral. Because that's what our duty is in our community. Nobody can save us, for us, from us, but us. It's got to be us. We can't depend on, and we can't trust. I know somebody said, you got to start trusting the police. No, you can't. You cannot trust them. Why can't you trust them? Somebody asked me one day, see, if something happened in your house, somebody broke your house, would you call the police? I said, yeah, to pick up the body. That's it. Not me. Pick up the body, I call them. You know. So I don't hate them. I don't hate look. I got to talk about white people. I got to talk about police. Do I hate them? No. But if they're somewhere in the dynamic of what it is that we have to talk about, I got to tell them like it is. And I can't sugarcoat it. How can I tell us during Black history what happened to us and leave them out? Would you tell the Jews to tell about the Holocaust and leave out the Germans? I don't think they can. And so we can't leave. We got to tell it like it is. We got to take it from the past, and we got to bring it up to date. And we got to show whose hand is in this. Yes, it was 5 black police officers. Yes, it was a black chief of police. Yes, they all were, they say, the color is blue. But at the same time, all I'm saying is that it doesn't matter when they say, it doesn't matter when they say that the policemen are black. At this time, black people got to say the color is blue. You can't get caught up in that. You can't get caught up now and now start condemning them just because now they're black. Yeah, they're black. But we can't start condemning them because what about these cases, y'all? I'm finna read something. What about this case in 1999? Brother Diallo, right? A student who was shot 41 times by 4 New York Police Department plainclothes officers in the vestibule of his apartment, February 4, 1999. 4 officers were charged with second-degree murder, just like these 5. But now watch this, because they were white. They were acquitted of all charges by a jury after 3 days of deliberation. How many times did I say he was shot? 41 times in the hallway. That's overkill. But yet they were acquitted. Let's read another one. Latanya Harrison, here in Chicago, June 4th, 1999. Shot and killed after Officer Daniels mistook an object in her right hand for a gun. Harriet had a cell phone in her left hand, but witnesses say they didn't see her holding anything in her right hand. I remember this case because OMIB was working on that case at that time. She had a cell phone. This was on 64th and King Drive. She was in the car. I remember that. That officer, nothing happened to him because he said it was mistaken identity. Let's move to the next one. Now this is a big book here with all this thick, but I'm just gonna go to certain ones so you can see why we gotta look at the color blue, because somebody is trying to kill us. And when I say us, I'm talking about black people. Y'all be patient. I got a lot of stuff in here. If y'all want to copy this, let me know when I come down and I'll email it to you. July 17th, 2014, Eric Garner. Y'all heard of that, right? New York City, 43 years old, died after a New York City Police Department officer by the name of Daniel put him in the chokehold while arresting him. Garner repeated the words, "I can't breathe," 11 times while lying face down on the sidewalk. Medical examiner ruled Garner's death a homicide. No indictment followed. Didn't hear about that police officer going to jail. August 9th, same year, 2014, Michael Brown, Ferguson, Missouri. After a struggle with Darren Wilson, Brown began to flee on foot after a struggle for the gun. Officer Wilson pursued the unarmed Brown. Brown stopped and charged Wilson, came at the officer, who then shot Brown 6 times, killing Brown. He died on the street. Now, if you all remember that, they left his body in the middle of the street for close to 7 hours that day. But here's something you all don't know probably. Every one of those activists that was involved in the resistance movement that went against that department, burning up cars and things, today,
and against Black Lives Matter,
today are dead. Did you hear me? Dead.
And one of them was found hanging.
Thank you. So I'm trying to show us something here. You know, we get all caught up and we moving with the media and we getting all like in our feelings right now. And I look on television and news reporters doing interviews, and the news reporter break out in tears. You ain't fooling me. Sorry to say, I gotta say it like that. Break out in tears. The interviewed person, they breaking out in tears, and everybody crying. And down in New York, they marching. 90% Caucasians marching. Oh, you care about us now. Not fooling me. I know y'all ain't here, and we'll keep going. November 22nd, 2014, Tamir Rice. I know y'all heard of that. But do you see how many people on each one of these things front and back? All right? And I'm only going from 2000 to 2023. Now, Officer Timothy Loman shot the 12-year-old boy, and he only had a toy gun walking around in the park, despite the 911 caller indicating that the gun was probably fake. What happened to something in the 90s, y'all? Back then, when they thought this would solve the problem, they started something called sensitivity training for the police officers. What happened to that? I don't even think it ever got off the ground. But I think they said it to put us back to sleep. And they do that a lot. Promise you promises, but never see it through. We've been promised so much over the years. If we don't take back control of our community, nobody else will. If we don't solve the problems of gun violence in our community, nobody else will. They want us to trust the police and the police to trust us. We come out of our house, don't know if we gonna get back in our house without being shot. They come out of their house, same thing. They don't know if they're gonna get back home without being shot. So what do we gotta do? If we wanna develop some kind of form of trust, we gotta get and remove that level of fear that we have when we walk the street. How do you get rid of that level of fear? Then we got to remove from our community these weapons of mass destruction. Quick kill weapons of mass destruction. Even though the NRA say that they're not involved in it, but they are. Then they'll say, no, we only deal with hunting. Well, who wants to hunt with an automatic weapon? You want to shoot the carcass 100 times, you can't eat it. You can't prove your skill as a hunter with an automatic weapon. You don't want to hang their head up on the wall that you shot 200 times. So that's a lie. But yet, they give us these quick kill weapons of mass destruction. They throw them in our communities. Our people can't get jobs. Poverty is at an all-time high. Inflation is at an all-time high. They say that we in a recession, and every time there's a recession, Black America goes into a depression. We got to really look at what's happening. And I am not looking for the people who got us in this condition to get us out. I'm looking for us to get us out. Yes, somebody say, well, they might have got you in the condition, but why y'all still in this condition? But you still keep your thumb on our heads. Every time we try to go as high as we can in America, you push us right back down. It doesn't matter if we become a billionaire, you still hold us back. Talk to Kanye. When we made it all the way up to the top, what did Jay-Z say when he put out his record? Still, nigga. Oh, I'm telling you like it is. So it doesn't matter how much money you make. It doesn't matter how high you go. It doesn't matter what your education is. If we don't do for ourselves, we through. If we don't set aside our differences, if we don't remove all of those little things that hold us back, like these different denominations and religions. The brother in here not too long ago, he had on the feds. That's Brother Kenny Bay. He's a Grand Sheikh for the Moorish Science Temple of America. And they practice Islam. But yet, they don't get along with the other Islamic group, the Nation of Islam. Then you got the Christians. And the Church of God in Christ don't get along with the Baptists. Everything I'm telling you is 100% true because I was in the midst of it. I was a board member of the pastor of Inglewood. And we were at a church having a meeting with other pastors. And when we got outside, I'm just standing outside. And one of the Church of God in Christ pastors said, "I'm glad to be about that. Boy, isn't that what all them doggone Baptists?" I'm like, I can't believe I'm hearing you black guy talk about the other preacher in there. But this is what you hear on the side. This is what you hear in the other back rooms. Them religious gangbanging. But they want the gangbanging to stop on the street. But they all both under the 5 and 6 point stuff. Both groups. The street group and the religious group is under the 5 and 6 point stuff. So we say, if you don't stop religious gangbanging, don't expect the people on the street to stop. You can't have it. And so here again, we're all inclusive. We're black conscious. And we don't say religious, we say righteous. Because it's about being right, not being religious. It's about having moral principles of righteous conduct and conducting yourself in that manner, in that way. It's all about representing the kingdom of God on earth as it is in heaven. You have to be an ambassador. That means you represent the kingdom to come. And so whatever you do, whatever you say, and however you act, you representing the kingdom you say you came from. And so that's why I'm what they call pro-black, but not against the other group. See, every race on this planet practices a race-first philosophy. But us. But us. Is anything wrong with that, though? No. Every other race that get into office, they start helping their people first, and then you give what's left. Is they supposed to do that? Yes. You'd be stupid if you didn't. Now, when black people get in, what do we do? We got to help everybody else. And I can bet you one of the reasons why those black officers beat the hell out of that boy like that, because it was white officers around, and it's the black officers that treat us worse than the white ones when they present. Tell me online, I can tell you many times that both of them came, got me out the car, and the black one talked to me like I was a dog. But his white partner was just looking at him. So it's our fault sometimes. We got to wake up. We got to practice a race-first philosophy. Every time you hear Hispanic or any other, most of them, get up and speak. They don't say Hispanic and black when they talking. We come up and say black, brown, green, blue, all other damn colors. What the hell wrong with you? They don't say it. I never hear them say it. So we got to. So we got to fit right in. Wake up, black men. Wake up, black woman. We got work to do. They want to constantly divide us against each other. So now here it is, black woman, black men. And now she gets rid of all 5 of them. So now here it is again, some dissension between the black woman and the black man. Trying to keep us apart. They say color don't make a difference. If we took Einstein and gave him a natural and made him black, would color make a difference? Oh, that's all I gotta say. Would it make a difference? Can he stay black? But in turn, Jesus become what he's supposed to be. See him for who he truly is and what he really is. So I feel for those 5 officers and their families. And I feel for the brother Nichols, I think that's his name, who had to be a victim of that form of brutality. But I would be just really lying if I just don't say how I really feel. It has happened so many times that I feel more empathy than sympathy. Because it's almost as if it has happened so many times around me and in my community that I become a little numb to it. It's like normal, right? How many times have I seen people laid out shot? How many funerals have I been to? Over 500 times. How many times we done prayed for families? But I know we can make a difference. But you got to stand your ground, and you got to stand on truth. No matter what. No matter if the alderman is present, no matter, I had an alderman, and we were friends, 42. And she was running for office again, re-election, and I can't remember what I was saying or what I was doing. But in her mind, I wasn't the person she knew based on how I was talking. So when the meeting was over, she walked up to me and she said, "That's not your style." Walk away. I'm like, "What do you mean ain't my style?" But I understand what she was saying. She never heard me go off on aldermen like that. So that's not my style. I'm usually laid back, not saying much, and just watching. But that day I had to say what I had to say. See, and you can't sugarcoat it. You got to say it like it is. Now, I said to Ami, I said, I would love this council to be started. This district council, not state, but district council. I met all 3 of these people on here, as well as Ami. And why? I think it's a chance for change. Watch my words, a chance for change. Here's what the focus is: community control, focusing on ensuring community input at the core of discussing public safety by proactively listening, partnering, and engaging in accessible ways for people to get involved and share best practices. Restorative justice is another. Alternatives to police. What I said is that I was set with them, not the police. Once they started their council, I was sit down with you all. And I will share with you all what's happening in our communities. All right? And not only just that, but give you what our solutions are. But we're going to call out the mayor. And we're going to call out the superintendent of police. You see, I asked the question, how is it that this superintendent that they bought from, I believe, Texas, is he? Is that where he's from? He was the commander at that time when a black man started shooting at people that were marching. I think it was Black Lives Matter. But he wasn't shooting at them, he was shooting at police officers. And he had shot 11 of them. He ran into this parking lot. You know the type of parking lot they got in different levels? Parking garage. And he was hiding behind something. They all came up where he was at. And here's what they did. And I see this for a reason. They got some kind of robot and sent the robot over behind where he was at and exploded it and killed him. Right? But now the same guy who authorized it is here in Chicago. Same one. See, that's what we don't look at. See, we don't do our research. But we'll vote somebody in because they say so. And they tell you who they are. Like we turn around and voted in this justice in the White House named, what the hell, because I don't even remember his name. Biden. I didn't vote for him. Voted him in the office, right? But this is the same one who put this crime bill out. Then at that time in the 90s, they said if you saw 3 people on the corner, arrest them. When they know that's part of our nature. They know that's part of our nature, standing on the corner. I'm talking about before the drugs and all of that. We used to stand on the corner singing, just one imagination. We're on the corner. Had a brick around our throats in our back pocket. You couldn't tell us we couldn't sing. We always traveled in 2s and 3s. But now you're going to make a law and attach it to something we do naturally so that all of us can be put in jail. Then 5 or 6 years later, they said it was unconstitutional, but they didn't. But it was unconstitutional. No, it was unconstitutional when you made it. But now here come Biden. If you don't vote for me, you're black. You can't be black. You should have knocked this people off. I know my time is up. See, Joshua gonna bring you the statistics. I'm gonna bring you the logistics. Because we can no longer keep being fooled by the media. Kanye West was 150% right about the Jews. And their stronghold over there was 150% correct about all that they own in our communities and in the world. He was able to do what he did because having $11 million and then having it dwindle down to 800 million, that's still pretty good. He can build it back up. But see, he never could get a stronghold and being on equal footing with the rest of the people in the world. He had to always be under somebody. Why did he have to be under Nike and Adidas and all the different people? Why he couldn't own and create his own and have his own everything like everybody else? Why does, what's that boy name? Chesed have to be under one? Why he can't be chosen to with it? Why is it that we still got to be held down no matter what? We have to chart our own independent path. We got to do for self. We got to separate and create our own. How much minutes? We really want that now. According to that clock, is 1 minute. I have more minutes or none? 5 seconds. Well, anyway, I'd like to thank you all, my guests, for coming. And please come again. We're having our grand opening this Sunday. And we're going to be with us. I said 3. If you want to get some more of this good old truth, be here at 12:30. And you will get straight, no chase. Those who drink know what I'm talking about. That's the truth. But I'm just telling you like it is. Straight, no chaser. Thank you all for listening. I'll leave you in good Thank you.
Thank you so much, Brother Minister Rahim Chesed for that powerful lecture. Not Death, America's Commodity. We are asking and sending an invitation to everybody who's watching us live, the people in person, join us right here every Sunday for our weekly Sunday worship service. That's WARSHIP here at 616 East 71st Street in the Grand Crossing community of Chicago, Illinois.
If you would like to support this grassroots movement, you can also send us a monetary donation of Cash App at TONANATION. Once again, that's TONANATION. And once again, Minister Richard, our grand opening at our new headquarters is next Sunday, February 5th at 3 p.m. Feel free to come join us. You'll get some spiritual food, you'll get some physical food, and we're also having trivia, so that will be practice. So feel free to come out and bring your family. We are a family place. Also, don't forget, on February 28th, to vote for, the third local police district council slate. That is for this community where we are located, and that is on February 28th. Please feel free to join us next Sunday, and thank you for joining us. Peace.
In the essence of the eternal divine spirit, the one that causes all that exists to exist, the one that is self-existent.
How many men have children and the children never meet their father? See, you created a void in that child because you are a part of that child.